Yeah, my name is Luqman Hunter. They're going to call me Luqman. I'm a music producer. I also have a career in IT that I've worked in for almost 30 years, but typically my love and first passion is music.
Okay. All right. What or who were your influences growing up music-wise?
Well, that one's pretty easy. My father, I would have to say, was my biggest influence on music. Him being a musician and also kind of a crazy avid jazz head that, has got like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of records. So sometimes being forced to listen to that as a child, I didn't get it. It was kind of all crazy for me. But once I opened my mind and started being interested in music, I understood what that music was about, and it was groundbreaking. And so that was, I would say, him. Even to this day, he's one of my main reasons why I do music. So yeah.
Okay. How has the music changed from when you first started your journey to now?
That's a loaded question, just because of how long I've been kind of dabbling with music. I started, funny story, me and my cousin and some good friends started a little band, like this is late 80s, early 90s, and it was all the synth era. So we had like one bass player and like 3 keyboard players and like 1 singer. So and that was our thing. We didn't have a drummer. But basically, it was a good experience because at that time it was synth music. It was an era of music ushered in called the New Jack Swing, which you guys may have heard of Teddy Riley.
Right.
One of my idols also from the area up there. I've been blessed to be like around a lot of Long Island and New York musicians, and I followed them closely. So whenever I buy my little records, I read and see who produced it and who did this, and I listen closely and I try to do the same thing. And that's what, you develop your chops, trying to, you emulate your idols, basically, because they're the ones you look up to and you feel the most in touch with. So over the years, like guys like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, again, I'm a little older, so my idols are like Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, Teddy Riley, Babyface, all those people are real music makers, but they also were like, they brought in great writers, some of them writers themselves, and they just touched. The music back then was different. Now, it's evolved for sure. I think due in large to technology, people are able to express themselves in various means, and also the culture has opened up to where young people now can voice what's on their mind and what they're feeling. That's a great thing because we're all moving forward. So even though things are were great back then, I love that music. I love today's music because it's evolved. It comes from that,
right.
So wherever you see you have something now, you definitely have an origin of it. So today's music, man, I mean, the producers today they're crazy. I mean, they're young, so I like now I listen to stuff today. So just like I would, old day, listen to, stuff, and, it just promotes and kind of creates, creativity, so now today the focus is now to kind of tap into what's going on today and bring that old feel forward. You know what I'm saying? Sorry.
Just to elaborate a little bit on something you mentioned. I know you mentioned a lot of old school people that you would grow up listening to. Who are some of the new age producers or musicians that you?
Oh gosh, I would say like any of the cats that are like doing it like at a consistent high level. I mean, you gotta look at people like Future and that whole regiment of cats doing like my man from I forgot his name. That's got the song with Drake right now.
With Drake?
It's right now.
I can't.
Travis Scott, sorry.
Travis Scott.
Oh yeah.
So people like him, like they're into the technology, but in the sound, like sonically, their shit is like it blows my mind to hear some of the stuff they're able to do. And I know a lot of it's a lot of it's dealing with the technology they're using, but to come up with the idea to make it do what it,
right.
So to me that's still talent and creativity. So you may not be able to run up and down a keyboard, but you can, it's all about tapping into people's soul and what they want to hear, what you think, what you connect, what resonates with folks. What makes people dance or think.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What makes you how you move, and then because a lot of times what attracts us to music is the beat at first. We don't hear it what they're saying, but that melody, that bump, and then sometimes once you find out what they're saying, you be like, oh, that's crap. It's garbage. Other times you be like, oh snap, okay, my mind is open now. To, even if it's something that's doesn't maybe glorify the things you're about, it's somebody's truth.
Right.
And you gotta respect that. Anybody that's creative and put the musician in where they can speak their truth in a creative way and get you like, so that's I'd say those cats, those newer cats, but even the older cats don't sleep now. They still working. Right. Making work. So the challenge for people in my genre is to kind of bring it forward and teach, as well as kind of expose, the origins of music and these sounds, but use the new sounds today that it's relatable to the young people, because that's what it is. It's all about the youth at the end of the day. You got to be able to touch. If you want to grow, you got to be able to. That's the future. So.
Gotta invest into it. How do you feel about like a Jacquees who kind of? Did you see the video with him and Keith?
I've heard about it and I've seen, of course, all the thing about it is I think the one of the things that I think we discussed this before is about what advice or anything I'd offer for young cats coming up, no matter how hot you are, it's just definitely humility.
Right.
Because today's today. Yeah. You may be on top of the world today, but you also have to have kind of a lot of substance to continue with that. Right. A lot of consistency, a lot of work, a lot of material. So yeah, you can claim to be the best, but unless you have a record of being the best for a long time, you're not really the best. Right. So there's a lot. It's a lot of times I probably would have gone that route. I think I understand what he was feeling himself in a good way and showing confidence. There's nothing wrong with that. Right. But there are a lot of people that are doing it still at a high level that have cut way more records than him. So
I don't even know a record that sticks out.
Exactly. But I love his right now. He's hot. I love his voice. He's fresh. Yeah. But yeah, a little humility wouldn't hurt.
Right. You also said that you were into IT as well.
Yeah. So I'm fortunate enough. I come down to Virginia years ago and kind of help support my family, and basically I had to take the first job. I got started out kind of in a warehouse doing like inventory controls and things like that, and then slowly kind of moving up the ladder. I got into management, and then IT kind of dropped in my lap. And it was at the time like going into like 2000 where there was a lot of opportunities in IT to learn any kind of software. So I just learned the software and kind of became very proficient at it, and was able to offer me as an employee my services, and being someone that's wants the best for myself. I put my best foot forward and benefited myself and the company I work for. So it allowed me to establish a career as well that maintains an income to support me and my family. So yeah.
Would it be something that you would say to young kids to go?
Absolutely. And actually that mantle's already kind of being taken up by young folks, because a lot of this stuff now, as far as like apps and things you see, things that geared towards technology, like it's all created by young people. Right. So it's there. So it's the future is in the young people's hands as far as where IT goes from here. But it definitely, I would encourage any young person to get as versed as you can with technology. Use it to benefit yourself, because sooner or later you're not even gonna have a computer that you're gonna sit in front of. You're just gonna have something like this, a phone or whatever, and you do all your business.
Right.
Just about like now people still use a computer. So but the way the future is, like even the bigger companies are gonna not have to have that as a resource to maintain. So that's where IT is going. Instead of being smaller and
So I'm gonna switch up the conversation just a little bit. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about toxic masculinity?
Oh, that's a good one. It's I think I'm speaking to a group that's dear to my heart. Now that would be my own community, the African American community. I think it's something very serious where there have been expectations, because there's still a lot of healing happening right now.
Right.
That's happening, because a lot of things have happened within our culture. It's still very recent.
Yeah.
So our parents and their parents are in a state of healing. So with that being said, a lot of the things that they were taught and they were not necessarily right in how you would handle, especially a young black man, you know, and how to make him strong and have expectation. It's okay to have feelings, to be, you know, someone in touch their feelings, but a lot of times when you were younger, it was taught that was soft. You know, that was, don't be like that. You gotta be hard or whatever, people would get respect. But, you know, you learn through your journey that when you're in touch, well, things are gonna happen to you.
Yeah.
So how you handle those things determines, you know, who you are. So be hard if you want, but that's the longer, until you get in touch with them inside of your heart and your mind and make it all work together, you're just following, you know, someone else's idea of what they think you should be.
Right.
So you have to come to that point in your life where you realize, okay, I don't need to follow what people say or whatever, because I know it's not right for me. You know, it doesn't do anything for me. And then from then, once you become happy with yourself, you can kind of touch other people. And that's what it's all about, bringing, you know, giving the right message to the youth today. You know, back then, yeah, it was maybe, you know, there was a lot we had to, you know, be careful of. So it was like, you can't act that way, you can't be that way.
Right.
But now, you know, if we're all about, you know, freedom and equality, you have to make sure that's the same for everybody.
Right.
You know, and you give everybody a chance to, and you know, we have to grieve, you know, certain things in our lives. You know, again, like I said, we're still in a state of healing as a people.
Right.
So that's a continuous job, and I think, you know, going forward, I think we just reach out with as much encouragement with the young and the youth to encourage them. It's okay to be you.
Right.
You know, so regardless of one's personal beliefs, you know, you still have to encourage people to be happy and want to contribute, you know, positively to society in some kind of way.
Right.
You know?
Do you think that things like therapy or anything like that would be helpful to that type of situation?
Yeah. I mean, I'll even get a little personal. So yeah, during my journey, I've had to, you know, positive thinking can heal just as well as something someone told you from a book. So you really, it all comes from within yourself.
Right.
But I am a proponent of people talking professionally to someone if they need to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I think you have to look at the big picture, and if you look at like things that happen with senseless murder and things like that,
Right.
imagine if those people had like someone to talk to when they were going through their toughest time before they turned the corner. Because everyone, you got to be a crazy somebody to really kill somebody, you know?
Yeah. Right.
To really decide to say get to that point, that blackout point to where nothing else is. That's one of the, you know. So imagine if you could reach somebody before they get to that point.
Right. Right.
So you'd save a lot, you know, not only themselves, but because, you know, everyone's capable of doing good.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to have hope and turn them around in that kind of way. Yeah.
Affected your communities.
That's why toxic masculinity.
Oh, sorry about that. So as far as like toxic masculinity, how do you think it affected the communities?
Well, I think, you know, again, it's been like a kind of evolving thing. So kind of tapping into the same thing. I think it's affected our communities kind of in a negative way. You know, but I think now there's more as we become, you know, more knowledgeable about you know what's going on. I think that we can change that you know that tide to pretty much go in a direction that we want it to go in. So we can turn it around for sure. You know.
Right. And what would you tell yourself at 17 with the mentality you have now?
I would say at 17, I would say be thirsty to learn about the things that you're interested in. Read, you know, retain, read it again if you need to, the things that are really meant for you. And then also, this is common sense, but you know, save it. Learn how to save. Learn how to save and learn how to plan. And then being consistent, you know, stay consistent. Don't get deterred because of, you know, you're gonna have challenges in life. So I would say, you know, sometimes stay the course if it's something you really want to do in your heart. You know, don't be discouraged by life situations. So yeah, just follow. At my 17-year-old, so I would say go hard with following your dreams. You know, go hard. Don't get discouraged. If you get sad, find a way to work through it. Find somebody to talk to if you need to. You know what I'm saying? So, cause sometimes sadness is something that brings us back to kind of a safe place, and that may not be the healthiest place for us to grow.
Right.
For us at that time, we think, okay, like for example, homesickness. I went to college and got homesick, so I should have stayed there much longer than I did. But I wanted to go home and help and be part of my family, which I did. I don't have any regrets because things worked out beautifully in other areas of my life. So, yeah.
What was it like converting to Buddhism, having Islamic and Christian parents?
It was an interesting journey. Again, being born Muslim, then actually in my childhood becoming Catholic, and then pretty much being like a wanderer in my after my teens and early childhood. I didn't really connect with anything spiritually that made me want to continue to come back, and I saw through it. And it didn't help me. I didn't see where I could benefit from it. You know what I'm saying? I needed something that would challenge me spiritually. Because people get kind of caught up in what they see and what they, because it's a lot of it's about money. It's a business in some regards. So a lot of it, kind of people should understand that spirituality comes from within. So it has nothing to do with the building or where you go, because there's good and bad people everywhere. Inside that building, outside that building, it doesn't matter what. And people also use religion as a source to, maybe a bastardized version of religion as a source of their belief, and it might not be right. So for me, it came to me at a point in my life. I was visiting a friend in California, and for my family, I wanted to change kind of the dynamic and the karma of my family. And I didn't really know at the time. That was my wish, because I felt being afflicted in a lot of areas of life that, to me, I was just frustrated and tired, and praying about it and asking for help, and it just wasn't an answer for me. So it just dawned on me. I'm like, well, you can actually change your karma and your family's karma, and that's what I started doing. And for me, it was very liberating to be able to know that I had the ability to, my thoughts and my actions and my words can direct where I want to go in my life, and also the people that I love. So pretty much the whole premise of my kind of Buddhism is trying to pray for your happiness and the happiness of others. So that's the whole premise of it, and that's I saw that as, and then what kind of really struck a chord in is that same message. I saw people of all faiths meditating and chanting and praying for that same thing, and that was very powerful for me. So for me, that's what I never saw. That I never experienced people of many colors and praying for the same thing, and I was like, this is powerful. So that was what worked for me, and that's what made me kind of realize that was best for me, and it really helps. Like I said, it really helps to have something. I think I don't down anybody, for what they have faith in, as long as it makes you do what you feel your purpose is, and that's to love and to help, and all major religions have the same tenets anyway. So faith, practice, and study, and it's how you put that to use in your life, and how you put it, to use some good. Some people, they pray and say this, but they don't do any good actions. So to me, but that's them.
Right.
You don't worry about them. You just do what you can do. Exactly.
What would you say out of your life? What would you say up to right now? What would be your proudest moment if you had to pick one?
Well, that one's pretty easy because I'm a father of a 15-year-old daughter. So I would say that was probably my proudest moment. Finding out, gonna be a father, and then the moment I actually, saw my daughter for the first time, I would say that was probably my proudest moment. But it's just amazing because it's just a beginning, a life of something. So there are other things since she's come into this world, that she's allowed me to grow as a man. And there's been other super proud moments, and they'll continue to happen. So, you know, because I feel that it's important to try to, you know, reinforce and give her everything she needs to be successful in this world. It's hard for a female, period, and for a female of color, it's even more challenging. So I feel the pressure sometimes, probably more than I should, to give her what she needs to. And when I say give, I don't mean like give her something, you know. I mean give her knowledge. I mean give her everything she needs, strength to deal with the challenges in this world as a black woman. Because, you know, but there are a lot of great role models, even within our own family, that she can look to. Her mother is a strong woman. Her aunts, her you know, her grandparents. So she's had a lot of good things to pull from. I'm glad that I'm not in it alone. You know, I can only imagine, you know, parents that don't have anyone else around them to give their child love. It's a different kind of thing. But it, you know, as long as there is love, I think there's always potential to be great, right? As a young man or a young woman. So yeah.
Well, thank you, man, for coming and sitting down with us. We really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
But before we get out of here, like, what do you want to leave them? What do you want to leave the audience with?
Well, basically, definitely is going to be some new music coming soon. So got to do the promotion thing. So keep your ears out for that. But also, like, you know, I love like Lil Wayne's song, but you know, where'd the love go?
Right.
You know, so I think, you know, just bringing love back and continuing it, let it resonate in all of our hearts and lives, and let that be your first instinct to handle anything in your life. You know, I think if you take that approach, you'll be fine. So basically, just to spread the love, keep love going within yourself and within others. You know, just, you know, try your best to be happy. You know, it's not the material things in this world that make you happy. It's, you know, things within. It's sitting here with y'all, it's talking, you know, with family and laughing.